How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Rockwool insulation. As you guys know, when we built the barn dominium, we put a lot of Rockwool in, and we also did the Rockwool on the porch here. We were kind of making a 3-season porch, and we want to still keep it fairly warm on here, so we did Rockwool insulation. Now at Milo's we have a couple different types of Rockwool insulation, and I'm going to show you each. I'm going to get a bag of each one of them. I got the bags and a piece of each one, and kind of talk about the differences in the two Rockwool insulation battens that they carry at Milo's. Now there is different ones, but I think you can order them offline, or you can order them through Lowe's. But we really like the Rockwool insulation. They say they're soundproof, waterproof, and fireproof. So my thing is I like all that about insulation, but there is some Rockwool that's not. It doesn't say soundproof. So, and that is your exterior walls, and they have what they call safe and sound Rockwool, and that is an insulation that you use on the inside walls. It really doesn't have an R value, and that's kind of crazy because it doesn't say an R value on the bag, and I'm going to show you that. But I put one batten in when I was doing the house, and it said R23 on it. Now the outside wall, 4-inch thick Rockwool, it says it's R15, but you know, I don't, maybe they test a few pieces as they come out, and they did, you know, I think it's different because there's actually different, when you get this Rockwool, some places it's hard, and in some places in the batten it's not so hard. But as you can see, I did all Rockwool in here. This is all Rockwool in the walls, and we did Rockwool insulation in the ceiling, and I'm going to take you up there and show you that. We did Rockwool and fiberglass insulation in the ceiling, so we'll go up there and I'll show you that. Okay, so we're up inside of this is the upstairs, like the attic space in the on the porch, and as you can see, we have, this is an R21 here. And then we have the R15 or 23, I'm not sure, the Rockwool underneath of that. Now this was all just some extra insulation that we had left over from the house build. And we figured, hey, we'll just lay it up in here and keep the porch nice and warm too. So here is our bags. Now let's look over here. See, now this Rockwool right here, this bag, this is the safe and sound. And as you can see, it says fireproof, soundproof, and waterproof. Now, I know I can test these two, but I can't test this. But I do know in the house, when you close the bathroom door, it does deaden it a lot having this in the walls. I mean, the sound is not as loud with this insulation in versus having no insulation. Now, we have another bag here. Now, this is another bag here, and this is the R15. Okay, you can use this on your outside walls, okay? And this has an R value of 15, as you can see right there. Has an R value of 15, and it says on the bottom here, fire resistant. You got fire resistant, water resistant, and it says easy fit. Now the other one says sound. You know, it's like a sound deadening, but this one has this easy fit instead of the sound. So I'm sure this cuts down on some of the sound, but not as much as this here, the comfort, the safe and sound. This is comfort batting, and this is safe and sound. This would be your interior walls. This would be your exterior walls. Now, this is for a 2x4 wall. Now, if you get it You can buy this for 6-inch walls too, or 2x6 walls. But like I said, in my Lowe's, they don't carry it. You have to order it. And us just doing the porch, we thought it would be fine on the porch. It's a 3-season porch. It'll be fine. So we're going to take a couple pieces of this. We're going to get a piece of this one here. And we're going to get a piece of this one here. And we're going to take them to the garage. And we're going to see if we can tell any difference in them. Okay, we have both of our insulations laid out. I have one piece here, and this is the comfort mat. This has an R value of 15. This is your safe and sound, which is your soundproofing insulation. Does not have an R value. Now, it has to have some type of an R value, I would say, because it is like throwing a blanket on top of you, and if you had that thick of a blanket, a 3.5-inch thick blanket laying on, you'd have to stay a little bit warmer. So it has to have some kind of an R value to it. But anyhow, this is what you would put between floors and interior walls. This you would put in 4-inch thick exterior walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a couple tests on these, and I'm going to show you a few things about it. The first test, we're going to see if we can catch this thing on fire. They say it's fireproof. I have a propane torch. We're going to see if we can catch it on fire. Okay, so what I have here is a propane torch. We're going to test this just to see how long it'll take to catch this piece of insulation on fire. They say it's fireproof, so let's find out. Let's see how long it takes to burn through it. Well, it burnt through it. Well, almost. I'd say we're all the way through right there. It's not still burning. It went out. I want to show you guys. Let's look up inside there. It's out. It did not burn. It only melted what... and it's not smoking or anything. So we know it'll melt. It'll melt under some extreme heat. So now that's your safe and sound. So let's go over to the comfort fit, which is this one here, and we're going to try it. So this is your comfort bat. Let's try it out. This is pretty hot. This is propane. Ooh, that one's taking a little bit longer to get through. Okay, it burnt all the way through. We're all the way through. It's not smoking or anything. Daggone. Well, that's pretty cool. It went out. So now let's just say, let's put the heat on the side of it and just see what it'll do if it just gets a lot of heat. That's still pretty hot. You can see it glowing. Dude, it didn't burn. That's pretty hot. Now mind you, when I put the torch on here, it's really smoking hot when we get in there. Let's go over to the safe and sound and let's see if it does the same thing if I just put some heat to it like we did the other one. You can see it glowing. Oh no, that's been on there a while. And it's not burning. So there's a big difference in this just holding it in one spot and then me just swirling it around. But that's a lot of heat. You think it would catch on fire, but it's not. That's crazy. Okay, so I'd say it's pretty much fireproof. This is not burning. I could put my finger in here, so it's not even, it's warm, but it's not too hot that I couldn't stick my finger in it. Alright, now I have some water. I'm going to see how much water will absorb into this. Now this is the safe and sound. They say it's waterproof. So let's just see what happens if I pour some water on it. Yeah, we can see it's just running off. But how deep did it go in the batten? So let's put some more on there. If you got a leak that bad, you got issues, I'm sure. Okay, now that we put it in there, I'm going to see just how deep that water got in there by cutting it. And a lot of people are probably going to ask me, how do you cut it? And I got these big pair of scissors, which do a really good job. And a lot of people probably don't like it because it doesn't have a backing on it. I'll tell you, you just stick this in your in between your studs, and this stuff stays very easily with nothing behind it. No drywall on either side. You put it in, it'll stay. So we're going to cut across this thing and see just how deep that water got into there. That water is just on the very edge. It's not on the inside at all. It's on the very edge there. Now, to say it's waterproof, I mean, it's on the outside layer. It's not on any of the inside. I want to see if I could get you up close so you can see that. If you look, there's water on the very outside, but nothing on the inside of that. Nothing. It is dry right here. So it is kind of, you know, repelling the water. You can see all of it ran off. But it's still some on that outside layer. Let's try the comfort bat. I'll do the same thing with the water. We'll put some more on there. As you can see, it's barely even getting wet. It's dry. Here, you can see it's a little wet right in here. This is almost dry. Now, let's cut this one and see how far it got into it. Oh, I know it didn't get deep in here. I'm only taking about a 1/4 inch there. It's dry. This is dry under here. But there's still water in that right there. There's water on it. I can feel it. Pull it off. It's dry underneath. Water resistant is what it says. Repellent. It's water repellent is what it says on the box. So I think it did a fairly good job at repelling the water. So now let's look at the difference in these two battens here. We have this one here is the Safe and Sound, and I'm going to cut this and show you guys what it looks like inside. Now this one here, the texture in this batten is a little bit different than that batten over there. This one here is more soft. It's more soft. So I'm thinking that's why they're calling it soundproofing, because it's almost like putting carpet on your walls. You know, it's gonna help absorb sound. So if you look at this stuff, it cuts rather easy with the scissors. I wanted just to look on the inside of what this looks like. Okay, when you look at the inside, it just looks like cotton, almost like cotton. But what they say this is it's stone. They melt it down and spin it somehow and make insulation from it. But it almost looks like a wool or cotton. Pretty cool. We're going to cut the other one open too, and I'll show you the inside of it. Okay, now this is the comfort batting. We cut it in half. I had the camera on and somehow I screwed it up there. But if you've noticed how compact this is so much tighter than the comfort bit. Let me show you the difference. There is the comfort bit. See how soft this is? How it's not packed as tight as this one over here. This one is really dense, really tight. So it's a lot thicker and a bit heavier than the Safe and Sound one. So we know the Rockwool insulation does not burn. Even after holding the propane torch and burning a hole all the way through it, it still didn't burn anymore. And then even swirling it around on there, you've seen it glow in there. That's pretty hot there. So, you know, this would be nice. This is really nice, especially on your interior walls from one room to the next. One thing is if you got kids and they're making a lot of noise, or you're living in a small barn-dominium like we are, you know, if you have that between your walls, that takes a lot of the sound away. You can go in there, and if you're sleeping and somebody in the other room's watching the TV, I'm not going to say it's going to take the noise completely out, but it's going to deaden it enough to where you can get some good rest. So I think, and then another thing, you know, like having it between the walls, if you have drywall, you have Rockwool, and then you have drywall, it's going to take a long time before this burns to get to that other room where you might be sleeping. So I think that's pretty cool. And the water repellent, it got water on it, but it pretty much ran off of it, and it barely scratched the surface. I'd like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.